SK Vibemaker.
And today we have got such a talent in the building. Her name is Awa. What's happening?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right. It's been quite a year for you, innit? Like I know it's been
Yeah.
quite a year for a lot of people in life in the world, but for
Yeah.
you, since we spoke last year, September, it's been a bit
Yeah.
of a whirlwind, innit, man? How would you describe how it's going for Awa at the moment?
I mean, as you can tell, being busy. Currently in Stockholm. I have a couple of interviews today and obviously speaking to you again, which is lovely. It's been good. I mean, it's been lows and the highs, as I'm speaking about in my new songs, because, it's been a rough time. We're still in it. So, you have to find the silver lining. But then also I've been very blessed to be able to release music during this and do what I love. And I would say that, music has definitely saved my life in a lot of ways. So yeah, I'm very grateful that I get to do this.
So how would you describe how Corona, the restrictions, the lockdown has affected your creativity? I know it's stifled a lot of people. For some people, it's had them have a surge. How has it affected you musically and creatively?
I think it was so nice though in April because like my EP was already done. So all we had to do was kind of, the videos were done and like release it and just do the promo bits, which has been easy over Zoom, And then I got my label sent me a little studio kit. So I recorded a few bits at home. Actually going to release one of them soon. And then they sent me I had a full day on set here at home and I was literally every person on set. It was exhausting but great. We did a live home recording and they were on Zoom at the same time, so you have to make it work and just done the best out of the situation.
It's been well documented, you winning X Factor in Sweden and you taking some time out. You took a good 5 years before you relocated to the UK, signed to Columbia in the UK. Yes. And have kind of moved into a new chapter and kickstarted your career. When you look back, do you look back at that as more of a gift or a curse?
Gift.
That transitional time.
100% a gift. I was 14 when I was in X Factor, really young. I was completely overworked after that because it was fame overnight. Like people slept outside of my hotel room, and like in Sweden, we don't have paparazzis and stuff, but those kind of shows where you're in someone's living room every Friday makes it quite intense. But it was I looked at the show as a school, I think we talked about this before, but just as a school and lesson how to, open doors into the industry. And those 5 years that I took off, I was just working on songs and was back and forth from LA to London to Sweden and kind of focused on my modeling and Instagram so I could fund my music. So I've learned a lot and I definitely know how to say no and make quick decisions today because of that. So I'm really grateful for that time.
It's obviously a massive thing winning X Factor, no matter what country you win it in the world. But you gather, like you said, an overnight success. You blow up overnight and you definitely garner a massive fan base. How did you keep that fan base at bay when they was just expecting this global takeover from you and this mass output of music? How did you manage that?
We definitely didn't ride the X Factor wave, which I kind of like because I get to be Awa and not X Factor Awa. Obviously I owe a lot to the show, but it's always what you make out of things. And I think that at that time, I was so young and people tried to push me in different directions. And I've been so blessed to have a mother that's always pushed me to do what I feel is right. So I've always been quite no, I hate that. So I'm not going to do that. And been very stubborn on finding my own sound and being proud of what I'm releasing. And I think for me, I was a bit stressed because I wanted it to be I thought I was going to be Beyonce after winning. I'm not going to lie. A 15-year-old winning that show was okay, taking over the world now. But I went to school, I studied economics and some law and just, did the music on the side. And I just feel as long as I release things that are authentic, I don't think that, the time period make me grow into more of an authentic self. And I think that shows in my music today.
So I wanted to talk to you about the challenge of, not every R&B-esque singer-songwriter is like this, that puts such emotion and truth and real life experience into their music. How much of a challenge is it putting your heart on your shoulder and pouring these kind of stories into music?
I think for me, I've had my struggles with anxiety and depression. I'm currently on antidepressants, but I do therapy every week and really, putting the time in to work on myself. And lockdown has actually been such a blessing, because that's when I realized that, okay, I wasn't doing as good as I thought mentally. Work-wise, I was killing it. And looking back, a lot of the times when I've done incredible shoots or gotten opportunities, I've always felt so empty inside, because I never took care of me. And I think that now I'm very open on my Instagram, and I see that it impacts a lot of young girls positively. And there's a lot of things that needs to change in the music industry in terms of how young women are being treated. And I think what kept me going was that it's so much bigger than me, and I can make a change by being authentically myself. And like I do my self-love anthem, it really, the intention behind that song really came to life in terms of the messages I've been receiving after that, and that it lifts people up. And if that's something I can do, make people feel, or sorry about that, make people feel something, or just be a bit happier and go easy on themselves, then it's just worth it for me.
See, I follow you on social media, and yeah, you are quite upfront about things, but on the surface, many people might not have even known that you were taking some type of medication, or you had anxiety problems, or you suffering with any type of depression. When do you feel like you got to the point where you felt like there was something wrong and you needed to take some sort of, journey or take some type of action?
I would say that my depression was kind of ongoing for 3 years, but then not until lockdown. That's the first time I've been on medication. But now I've really, because it's a chemical imbalance in your brain, and I needed the medication to help me to get out of bed in the morning, to be honest with you, and do things for myself, go out, work out, even if it's just 10 minutes. But now I found, my routines, I found my tools. I meditate every day, because that really works for me. I know my limits. I know that I never want to be in that dark place again. So when I started looking at myself as my inner child, that's when things shifted. Because if I was my kid, I would be like, it's okay not to be okay, but you need to take a shower and we need to go for a walk. You need to treat yourself like that. And now I'm actually in the process of coming off my meds, because it doesn't really resonate with me anymore. But I definitely want to be a part of removing the stigma about mental health. And especially, I think for men, the saying of toxic masculinity, I think it's incredibly sad that we have a society where men don't feel as comfortable talking about their mental health and their feelings. So I think that me being open, I see that it helps people, and that's why I continue doing it. Obviously, there's a difference between being private and personal, but also I know my limits when I don't have the energy to respond to different comments, or I need to fill myself up with that energy fast to be able to give to the world.
Amen. Let's talk about the under-celebrated art form, which is songwriting. Now, you are an accomplished songwriter, but it doesn't get the plaudits or the recognition. People just hear these big songs and just it's a big song, but they don't necessarily think about the songwriting bit that goes into it. So talk to me about what it consists of when it comes to writing a song and the songwriting part of it.
I mean, so after easing back into work, I was very with my A&R, I only want to work with people that I've worked with before, so I can feel comfortable if I break down in tears. Because it's a bit awkward if you're in a room with new people. So I mean, I just go with the flow. I go in, listen to a beat, whatever melodies come out from that. It's just a word vomit, really, of words. And sometimes I come in with a concept, but I think for me, when I started taking the pressure off writing hits, that's when I started writing good songs, because I just let it flow, and whatever I was feeling on the day, you know, that's what came out. And then also some songs I'll just pitch to someone else if I don't feel it at the end of the day. And yeah, I don't know. It's just, for me, it's such a liberating process. And it's so, I love in the studio when you really vibe with the song, I always envision the music video and like I see it, you know, come to life in my head. And that's when I know, okay, this is the one, if it feels warm and fuzzy.
I mean, it sounds like quite an emotional sort of experience and situation being in the studio with you when you're procreating, making a song. Oh, right.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't call my EP Cry Baby for nothing.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I was about to say. So the EP that you released this year, it's called Cry Baby EP. I mean, where does all this emotion come from? You're a real crybaby at heart? Like, this is a regular thing in the studio and you feel no way about it?
I cry, not cry baby in like that annoying way, but like, I get so, like, when I'm happy, I cry. If someone makes, you know, if someone's really happy, I cry. If I watch a movie, I cry. Like, I'm just emotional. I'm a Cancer. So I guess it stems from that as well, like my sign. But also I just think it's at the, like, it's liberating. Like you release, I think people, especially this song Feelings that we just released, actually I didn't write this one, but the message behind it really spoke to me. So I was like, okay, let's do it, because it's about just embracing whatever you're feeling. You don't have to identify with your depression or your anxiety or your fears. You're having a feeling of, and then release it and let it go, and know that it's going to push you in a direction of knowing what you want in life. And you can always refine who you are at every moment. Like, you don't have to be who you were yesterday if you don't want to.
Now, the UK has taken you in, and at the moment in the UK, we are having this surge of R&B-esque vocalists that people will definitely put you in that category as, you know what I'm saying? How are you feeling about the current crop of UK R&B-esque vocalists coming through at the moment? Are you feeling much camaraderie?
What's camaraderie?
I mean, are you feeling very in one with your peers? Is it like a Team UK thing? Do you speak
Sorry,
much?
sometimes my English, you know, obviously I'm Swedish, so yeah, definitely. I feel like I'm so blessed that I've been welcomed with such open arms in the UK. And like, for me, it's been like, now it's starting to be a bit like that in Sweden again, but for all these years, I was like, oh my God, they forgot about me here. But then to have that in England has been so great. And also just for me, my dad's from Senegal and my mom's from Sweden. Even living in London with all those different cultures has really made me, you know, kind of become who I am and become myself in a sense. And I definitely feel like, you know, that it's a lot of positive vibes, especially amongst the females in the industry. Like, back in the days, but currently as well, like, labels try to put us, you know, against each other. But I love that, you know, we can go out, have a good time and support each other and just show them that there's room for everyone. There's literally room for everyone. There's abundance in this world. So
with your Swedish roots, there has been some calls for a collaboration between you and Mabel, as she has Swedish connections through her mom, Nena Cherry. Do you know what I mean? Have you had any conversations? Have you seen any of those comments? Have you thought about it?
I love Mabel. Like, she's my soul sister. We literally have the same tattoo here. We just made a friend tattoo together. She's amazing. We always listen to each other's songs and like give each other feedback, and you know, it's great vibes, and I have so much support on that side. And you know, she can come to me as well, and it's definitely, you know, we just go with the flow and whatever, when the time is right.
So, you know, I mean, your collaboration with BJ the Chicago Kid, for all the train spotters, they will notice
what's a train spotter?
For all those people that are like trying to spot things, facts and sort of, you know, like when it comes to songs, a train spotter would be someone who notices a similarity in an old song, like a sample or lyrics. You know what I'm saying? They're train spotters.
I see where you're heading.
So for all the train spotters of this song, they will notice that you shared some lyrics from Mason Total's 1997 collaboration, What You Want. Now, 1997 was the year that you was born. So that's
Yeah, oh my
definitely very
God. I
old
didn't even
school.
realize that actually.
You know what I'm
The
saying?
same
So
year, yeah.
are you a massive fan of old school
Oh,
R&B and hip
definitely.
hop?
Definitely. I listened to a lot of different things. I grew up listening to, Stevie Wonder, Destiny's Child, Michael, I don't know, Luther Vandross, like all of it. And I think, oh my God, I'm so into Remy Ma at the moment. Conceited is my favorite tune. It just hypes me up in the mornings. So definitely now when I go into the studio, I definitely have, used some of those references and, I think it's paying homage to that time, but also bringing your own uniqueness and tone into it. That's the trick, at least for me. That's what I feel comfortable in doing.
In our last conversation last year, we spoke about your roots where, Swedish mother, Senegalese father, mixed heritage. Do you know what I mean? And for people that are not of mixed heritage, they might not understand the sort of hurdles and the minefield of many things that you have to travel through growing up with having mixed heritage. So I wanted to revisit it with you. When you recall some of your experiences, whether it be back in Sweden or in the UK, how was it growing up having that mixed heritage?
I grew up in a very posh and white neighborhood by accident because my grandfather worked, I think you say the UN, in Sweden we say FN. So we got an apartment here and, I grew up with a single mom, so I was definitely not in the same level as them because I did start like modeling from an early age and got my own money, but then it was kind of this like keeping up with everything and like buying the designer things and etc. And it's so ridiculous looking back, but you just wanted to fit in and also being so different, like the only one with curly hair. Remember, like my mom never got to touch my hair, always like straightened it and put it in a bun. And like, it's quite sad looking back at it, but now I know better. So I do better and I really do embrace whatever I'm feeling on the day. If I want to have straight hair one day, I'm going to rock that. If I want to have my curly natural, I'm going to, do that. I'm definitely very intrigued to know more about my Senegalese roots because I didn't really grow up with my dad. But this year I'm practicing forgiveness. I'm speaking to my dad again after 5 years.
Hey.
Yeah, and it's really, really nice. And I'm definitely going to go and visit him next year in Senegal. So it feels good.
Tapping into your Senegalese side, like you just answered it, I was going to continue and talk about that, how much you sort of felt your Senegalese roots and all that. Have you considered much tapping into the Senegalese sound with your music? And, maybe having some French spoken vibes in your music as well?
I DM'd, what's his name? Maitre Gims. He liked my comment in the DMs, but I'm just like, I need to be on a song with him. I love French. My pronunciation is actually quite good. I know a little bit. My mom speaks fluently and my dad, of course. And yeah, I mean, a lot of the rhythms, like, doesn't music just, it stems from the motherland, like all of it. So bringing that back is definitely something that I'm exploring now when I'm writing my album and trying to find the right way for me to connect with it.
Shout out to Yasondo, because I don't even know if I say his name right after all of these years from listening to his music from back in the day, collaborating with Wyclef and Cannabis as well. I used to listen to his music. You know what I'm saying? I was listening to some just before we started, this conversation today.
And
you
actually,
were just saying that
Cherry, Mabel's mom and him did an amazing song.
Of course. Yes.
Away.
Back in the
Love
day.
It. Yeah.
And you were saying that you met him one day, right?
Yeah, I did. Actually, it was a couple of years ago. She was performing with him here in Sweden with that song.
What are some of your ambitions as a musician? You've entered this new chapter in your career, signing to a label in the UK. Things are definitely building nicely.
I've wanted to be with Columbia since I was 10.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? What do they call it? Affirmation.
Manifestation, affirmation, speaking into existence.
Exactly. Yeah. So what are some of the long-term ambitions then? You've completed signing to the label that you wanted to. That's a step.
I think that for me, I take it moment by moment. I trust the universe, God, whatever you want to call it. I trust that I'm on the right path, and like success for me now is really happiness and being at peace. And I think with that, abundance and, you know, creativity will just flow naturally. So I just try to focus on the now, and obviously I have like a 5-year and a 10-year plan in terms of what songs I want to release. Like, you know, I have some business things I want to do. Like, I've just started a company with my friend called Pure Intuition, shout out. And, you know, just building that empire. And I think my purpose is just to spread the light and the love and try to impact people in a good way. And, you know, focusing on your passion will ultimately lead you the finances and whatever, but that's not what I'm chasing anymore. I'm chasing that fulfillment within myself.
The latest single, Feelings. All these flipping feelings, look how they leave me. I had to say it like that, the cleaner version.
Yeah, I know.
You get me? So is there an ice box where your heart used to be? Because, you know, now you're talking about all these feelings and like how, you know what I'm saying? Like how are you dealing with these feelings now? Are you a bit of a colder kind of gal when it comes to relationships? You used to be. So you've gone through that and you come out the other side.
Yeah. I think we need to go through those stages, you know, as I said, like you have to feel your feelings and allow yourself to not be okay sometimes, but you have to put in the work and change the perspective of like how you view life. And, you know, even if you have to meet yourself where you're at and also meet people where they're at. So if getting out of bed and making a cup of coffee is an accomplishment for you that day, then, you know, give that to yourself and then you elevate, you know, practice makes perfect. And I think for me, as I said, I practiced forgiveness and compassion this year. I think that people at the source of who they are is love. And, you know, when you know better, you do better. And I try to not judge. And I try to, you know, just go easy on myself and others. Like you still have to be able to set boundaries and you know, because I used to be like a people pleaser, which I'm working on. But I definitely think that for me, forgiveness is for yourself at the end of the day.
SK Vibemaker.